Thanks, Ted. I think that was the best yoga class I've ever been in. Can we give it up again for Nikita? Where's Nikita? That was so wonderful. And I'd like to gift you a copy of my book afterwards. So it just came out a week ago. So come talk to me afterwards. So a few years ago, the New York City Rescue Mission staged an experiment where they had individuals dress up to look homeless as members of their very own families walked by. In instance after instance, not a single person recognized their own mom or dad, brother or sister, son or daughter, husband or wife, or in this lady's case, her mom and her dad. Would you recognize your loved one if you walked by them on the streets? The answer is probably not. So neuroscientists at Princeton and Duke have found that the part of our brain that activates when we see a person compared to an inanimate object, that's called the medial prefrontal cortex. That part of the brain has been found not to respond when we see someone that we perceive to be in an extreme outgroup in our society, including people experiencing homelessness. Neurologically, we're processing our unhoused neighbors differently than we're processing someone who we don't perceive as homeless. So for 30 years, my uncle was one of those 600,000 Americans who sleep on the streets every night. But I never thought of Uncle Mark as a homeless man because he was just a beloved member of my family. He remembered every birthday. Every year he was on the streets, he sent me a birthday card, always signed with just his name. He never missed a birthday. And he was the guest of honor at Thanksgiving and Christmas. And it wasn't until Uncle Mark passed away at the age of 50, found deceased in a transitional housing unit, that I started thinking, gosh, everyone I'm walking by, that is someone's son or daughter. That is someone's brother or sister. That is some kid's beloved uncle or aunt. And I had this question on my heart, which is, well, why do I, as a compassionate person, not see a person experiencing homelessness as a person to be loved? I see them as a problem to be solved. What would it take to see a person experiencing homelessness as a person to be loved, not a problem to be solved? So I was in church one day, Reality SF, the pastor said, "Who is Jesus?" Let's go reality. Who is Jesus? And you had to answer that with some kind of art form, okay? I'm not an artist. I am not a singer. I was like, Jesus doesn't need me to write him a song. Jesus probably doesn't want me to paint him a picture. But I love using storytelling tools to help people share their humanity, right? Cat videos are fun, selfies are fun, but we can use these tools in a more humanifying way. So I got this question on my heart, which was simple. How would Jesus use a smartphone? How would Jesus use social media? How would Jesus use wearable camera? And whether you're a person of faith or not, how can we use storytelling tools to help people like my Uncle Mark share their stories? And so for 1 year, my answer to that was this. I invited 24 individuals experiencing homelessness to wear GoPro cameras around their chests and narrate their experience of what life is like on the streets. The basic premise was, hey, I just walked by you. You're still here. What's it like to be you? I watched dozens of hours of footage. It was heartbreaking. People constantly scorned, overlooked, dismissed, mostly just ignored. In one of the clips, though, I heard something that changed my life, and I want to share that with you. This quote, "I never realized I was homeless when I lost my housing, only when I lost my family and friends. I never realized I was homeless when I lost my housing, only when I lost my family and friends." You know, it made sense to me. I thought this is intuitive, but I've never heard any service provider, any agency articulate this. So maybe I could just walk down the street, go up to everyone I see who's visibly homeless, and ask a simple question. Do you have any loved ones you'd like to reconnect to? That's how I met Jeffrey. He hadn't seen his family in 22 years. I sat down with him, invited him to record a short message to his niece, his nephew, his sister, and his dad. I went home that night, found a Facebook group connected to his hometown, posted the video there with a short note, and within 1 hour, a miracle happened. The video went viral. It made the local news that night as the leading story. Classmates started commenting, saying, hey, I went to high school with Jeffrey. I work in construction. Does he need a job? I work at the congressman's office. Does he need health care? In the first 20 minutes of the post, his sister got tagged. Someone shared his high school yearbook photo right here. They raised over $5,000 to try to bring him home, rehabilitate him. First 20 minutes, his sister got tagged. We got on the phone the next day and she told me that Jeffrey had been a missing person for 12 years. Broad daylight, downtown San Francisco, a few days before Christmas. So within a few weeks, they were able to reconnect on a phone call. Within a few months, they were able to reconnect in person. And I started doing this work full time because I knew Jeffrey wasn't the only one and this shouldn't be happening. So that is the starting point for what became a nonprofit called Miracle Messages. It's not just me anymore. We got 10 team members, one of whom Nellie. Give it up for Nellie. There's Nellie, head of strategic partnerships. And so we offer 3 programs, and I want to share those programs with you today. And I want to really give you clear calls to action so you can take this, if you're inspired, into the world, right? So the first program is our flagship family and friend reunification services. Okay, it's not just someone wandering around the street, recording videos, blasting it on social media anymore. We invite neighbors experiencing homelessness to record video messages, audio messages, text messages, fill out our online form, paper form. We have a hotline. You're going to remember this phone number for the rest of your life. You ready? 1-800-MISS-YOU. 1-800-MISSYOU. Person calls that number, reaches one of our volunteer operators standing by, our staff members. We start making phone calls, writing letters with our network of volunteer digital detectives using social media for social good, doing searches. Through those efforts, we have now reunited over 800 neighbors experiencing homelessness with their loved ones. 80% lead to a positive outcome. About 15 to 20% lead to housing. Thank you. And we also know that for some folks, family is part of the problem, not part of the solution. So what do you do if you're experiencing, and here's our theory of change, relational poverty is a form of poverty. Isolation, loneliness, disconnectedness, stigma, shame that accompanies it. Relational poverty is poverty. So if you're experiencing relational poverty and family is part of the problem, not part of the solution, what do? That's where we've launched our second program. In the early months of the pandemic, we realized that many of our unhoused neighbors were getting housed, but were isolated in that housing. 4 walls and a roof do not make a home. And so we created what became one of the first phone buddy programs for neighbors experiencing homelessness in the US, where we matched everyday volunteers, 30 minutes a week, phone calls, text messages, one-to-one, kind of like a big brothers, big sisters for our unhoused neighbors. That program right now has logged over 150,000 conversation minutes. Volunteers in the Middle East, Asia, Africa, US, Canada, Latin America, San Francisco, having weekly calls and texts. There's weekly support calls. You log the information in a call log system. If there's a need that you can't deal with, a caseworker can follow up, a staff member. And right now, first call to action, we have more unhoused individuals who've raised their hand and said, I need a friend to talk to, than we have volunteers. We have a wait list of unhoused neighbors. So if you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes a week, we partner with DialPad. So we give you a phone number so you can use that phone number. Don't have to give out your device phone number. Miracle Friends is the name of the program, and it's at our website, miraclemessages.org. And finally, the most recent program. So once you become friends and you're in a relationship, you want to do something for each other. You want to help out. And we started hearing consistently from volunteers, I love this person. I trust them. I want to invest in their life. But it's very hard to be on equal footing if they don't know what they're going to eat tonight, if they don't have money to get back to work on Monday for gas. So is there a way we can give them money directly? And so we said, sure. So we raised $50,000, social media, picked 14 individuals from our Phone Buddy program to receive $500 a month for 6 months, no strings attached, in what became the first basic income pilot for unhoused individuals in the country. And here's the results. 66% secured housing. They use the money better than we could have used it for them. And so now what's going on next? I'm excited to share with you all today. We have a $2.1 million randomized control trial where we're working with researchers at USC and funders from Google.org and other foundations to give out $750 a month for 1 year to over 100 individuals experiencing homelessness in San Francisco, Oakland, and Los Angeles. So that's our Miracle Money program. And I know I'm going to wrap it up, but I just want to share a couple things in closing. Our unhoused neighbors, problems to be solved or people to be loved? The choice that we make in answering this question is going to determine the solutions we come up with as a society. And if you're interested in getting involved, this work is really hard. We've made a lot of progress, but it requires a lot of experimentation and a lot of unrestricted resources. So a second call to action is if you're interested in investing in the work we're doing at Miracle Messages as a cost-effective, humane, and scalable approach to addressing homelessness, please take a look at our website. And finally, 1 week ago, I launched my book called When We Walk By, and it's everything I wish I knew about homelessness a decade ago. We talk about the intersectionality of all the broken systems that lead to homelessness, housing, criminal justice system, income inequality, but we also talk about the humanity breakdowns as well. Rugged individualism, where if in our society we have a notion of self-made man and woman, what does that mean if you're poor, let alone homeless? Are you self-failed as an individual? The paternalism that's in a lot of our service sector, the exclusion, and also the stigma. So this book is really meant to be a conversation with all of you. And if you are interested, I do have some copies. I'm happy to sign some. It's $20 a copy. If that's a barrier, I'm happy to gift you a copy. So I'll be here. And also, finally, I do have pairs of socks, which are the #1 requested item on the streets. So finally, in closing, I'm just going to do a little quick show of hands, 2 quick questions to close. Raise your hand if you care about the issue of homelessness. Look at that, okay? That's the first question. It's not a trick question, right? We all expected that. Second question, raise your hand if you know someone who is currently experiencing homelessness. And this is a testament to the group we're in, because this is the first time I've ever asked this where it's ever been more than 5% of people that raise their hand. And to me, that is part of the issue. It's not meant to shame. It's if we don't know them as neighbors, it's an us versus them dichotomy we'll never get past. So I just invite all of you, whether it's through Miracle Friends, Miracle Messages, local service groups, get to know an unhoused neighbor, as the brother or sister, son or daughter, aunt or uncle that they are. So thank you so much.
This is beautiful. Thank you so much.